welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel, but today I am an imposter, a wolf in sheep's clothing. We have been challenged, myself and ThrabenU, by Patreon subscriber Edison, to play signature decks designed by the other person. The challenge given by Edison was pretty wide open. It was just design a deck that is signaturely you for the other person to play. And Phil over at ThrabenU gave me Lumra Living Wish lands. I, of course, gave him a grindy Blue-White X control deck. Head over to the ThrabenU channel when you're done watching this video to see his side of the challenge. And the fun here is, can I figure out how to play some non-blue prison nonsense better than Phil can figure out how to play blue control? And for this challenge, Phil sent me this Living Wish, Mana Bond, Exploration, Turbo Mulch build of lands. This is Hyper Prison. We've got 4 Wastelands, 4 Ghost Quarters, 3 main deck Tabernacle of the Veils with a 4th in the sideboard, the old 4X Tabernacle deck, 4 Maze of Ith. No one's allowed to have creatures, no one's allowed to have lands, and at some point, Field of the Dead will kill my opponent. And for fun, Living Wish. Green and 1, reveal a creature or land you own from outside the game, put it into your hand, exile Living Wish. The package includes Fairy Macabre, Rex Sage, Raminep Excavator, Collector Oof, Tabernacle, Caracas, Field of the Dead, and Lumra Bellow of the Woods. 4 GG, Vigilance, Reach. Lumra's power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control, and when it enters, mill 4, then return all lands from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. That is an exciting Magic card in the context of what we're doing here. The appeal of this deck is that traditional interaction like creature removal has basically no effect against it. Traditional interaction like counterspells, we care a little bit. Exploration and Mana Bond would be nice if they resolve, but Life from the Loam, you can counter that. I'll just do it next turn. Mulch, is this worth a Force of Will? I don't know. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put all land cards revealed this way into your hand. Could be a draw 4. Could be better than a draw 4 if I find 3 lands and dump a Loam directly into my graveyard. I've played decks like this before. I've never quite played this version. Let's see if we can channel ThrabenU and make it so no one is allowed to have fun except for us. I'm on the play in round 1, and I have to make the difficult decision of, do I keep a hand that doesn't have an exploration effect in it? We've got 8 of them. Exploration and Mana Bond. Obviously, life is better when we have them. My hand is like okay against creatures, horrendous against combo. I'm gonna mulligan. I'm gonna swing a little harder. Okay. Life from the Loam, I will keep on the strength of. Still don't have a ramp, but I like what's going on here. I'm gonna bottom 1 of the Loams. You rarely need 2 of that. Like, you don't care if it gets countered, you don't care if it gets Thoughtseized. Force of Negation is really the only thing you're worried about with it. There is 1 Hedge Maze in this deck that I plan on fetching here. Looks like we're against Delver. Delver historically is trash against lands. Let's hope that holds. They targeted themselves with Bauble and then did not shuffle. Oh, there's 2. All right, I'm going to get Hedge Maze. That might tell the wrong story because, hello, it's BoshNRoll. Loam Bant is the thing that I do. Oh. I think I'm going to spend a turn loaming before I shove this Mana Bond. If they do just randomly have Force of Negation, I kind of would prefer them to take my Loam to my Mana Bond. I'm not even sure if that's true, but it's how I feel in this moment. And if they want to daze this, have at it. They fetched a basic island, and they did actually daze Life from the Loam. Deal. I will never argue with that ever. If they have main deck, like if this is Grixis Delver with Cling to Dust in the main, that exchange might be good. Oh, they're going for cheese. They're trying to cheese me? Do you know who I am? I'm Dr. Cheese. I am not missing my second land here. A Field of Ruin, Life from the Loam, target Hedge Maze, Forest, and BoshNRoll. They've dazed and wastelanded me here. They're down 2 lands against my land denial strategy by their own design. We know their basic island, the one that they play, is in their hand, so Field of Ruin is just strip mine. Just going to keep loaming. Never stop loaming. That's my mantra in life. And I will put them to the real test. Mana Bond, they have to force this. No soft permission will line up against it. We're in. Okay, Life from Loam, Field of the Dead, Wasteland, Misty Rainforest. This daze is worth casting, but they don't have it. Okay, we're going to have an insane end step here. If you've never seen Mana Bond happen, here we go. Ooh, they could Stifle, I guess. Oh, Basic Mountain. Okay. I'm a little surprised, but I'm excited. Cheese Lightning Bolt. I would like to use this ability. Would I like to put 7 lands into play and make roughly 8,000 zombies? Here we go. I have to choose a BoshNRoll to keep. That is legendary. I would concede too. Okay. We do appear to be playing against some sort of tempo deck. We saw Dazed Lightning Bolt. Basic Mountain's a bit of a surprise, though. Interesting. I could bring in Dismember, or I could just not care. Dismember is for Magus of the Moon, not for Delver of Secrets. I have 4 Tabernacles and 4 Maze of Ith for Delver of Secrets. I might just literally not sideboard, because these things here are the wish board that you mostly prefer to have in the sideboard to the main deck. And then we have these anti-Magus of the Moon, anti-Harbinger of the Seas cards, and then we have anti-combo extreme stuff. And Delver is none of those things. Yeah, Sneak and Show wouldn't play Mishra's Bauble, but they would play Daze and 2 basic lands. I don't really know what to make of that. I'm not going to bring in Dismember. I'm just going to hit submit with my same main deck 60. And if they have a Harbinger of the Seas, they can get a little action on it this game, and then I'll turn it around next game. I'm going to keep. It's slow, but it's steady. Now that I know the matchup, I don't need to be quite so worried. Island. Delver. Come on, Exploration off the top. Oh, I love cheating at Magic. It's my favorite thing to do. This Exploration is currently dazeable, if Daze is even still in this deck. I think I'm going to roll the dice and just play the Exploration right now. It's just so fucked up if it happens. Forest, Exploration, Force of Will. Okay, that was always going to happen. Pitching Snapcaster, so they are a little bit of a bigger deck. Some sort of Izzet Delver deck featuring Snapcaster Mage and multiple basics. Upkeep Brainstorm, the aggro Brainstorm to flip Delver. They're trying to get damage across the line here, which is their job in the matchup. They have to cheese me out before I can do anything. And Delver still didn't flip. Wow. So there are no spells in their hand. Or no instants or sorceries. They could certainly have more creatures, and they do. I think I'm just going to lock them up with Tabernacle until I can get this Blast Zone online. They get to look at their top card first before they decide if they're keeping any creatures. If they don't pay for Delver, they're still not Delirious. That would give them 3. Delver did not flip, so they're drawing a creature or land, or potentially Mishra's Bauble. Volcanic Island, very likely the card they drew this turn. Wooded Foothills. I think I would like to take 1 here to keep playing on basics and hide the Blast Zone. I'll get a Snow Forest for considerations of Field of the Dead. Ghost Quarter, Misty Rainforest. Well, I'll take them. That's how this card works. And pass. I do have this Living Wish, but Tabernacle is legendary, luckily. What a stupid card that would be to have more than one of in play. Unluckily for me at this moment, but it is certainly correct in terms of how Magic cards work. Oh, they are fully extended. 1 drop of Palooza over there. Blast Zone costs 3 to activate. I think I'm going to park this Ghost Quarter in play, because they've seen it, and pass the turn. Maybe Bajuka Bogging here is better, but if they do have a Wasteland, they'd probably go after Tabernacle. Ooh, Force of Negation revealed. Okay, so they can shuffle their Force of Negation away before they draw it, or they could put Force of Negation in their hand. And it's not doing anything in hand because you're locked under the tab. Okay. They drew it anyway. I'm going to take 7 this turn, and then I'm going to Plague Wind them and chill out for a while. Wow, Exploration. Even more messed up. It will die to Blast Zone, though, so I have to wait a turn. And I'm going to pass, let them pay for Tabernacle first. And if they don't pay, then I just don't have to Blast Zone. At this point in the game, I'm worried about Price of Progress specifically. Okay, they kept one of the Delvers. If they keep 2 of these creatures, then Force of Negation is tapped out. Okay. All right, I'm going to Blast Zone now. They've paid their tolls here. And before they draw and get any additional value off DRC, I'll clear those out. We know there's a Force in hand. We don't know if there's a blue card to go with it. Exploration. This is either Hymn to Turok or it's Exploration. I'm happy with either. We're in. Okay. Do I think they have more basics? Does it matter if I think that? I'm at 6. How well can I actually play around Price of Progress here? The answer is not very. I could Ghost Quarter my own lands if I don't think their lands are that important. I'm going to go Hedge Maze and Lair of the Hydra, I think, here. Just accept that I'm dead if Price of Progress is what they have. I have this Maze of Ith, so I'm not worried about Murktide Regent. There's another Maze, put that in the graveyard. If they have Price of Progress, I'll Ghost Quarter my own Hedge Maze, and I'll take 4. Go to 2, dead to Lightning Bolt. Ponder, dangerous. It's more looks at Price of Progress. And Eldrazi is a big part of the format, so people are going to have stuff like that. I don't have any kind of passive life gain or anything. There's no like Zurin Orb I could park and play and not worry about that anymore. What I need is some Wastelands to get them out of the game. So they can't even cast the Price of Progress if they draw it. They did not shuffle Ponder. Murktide Regent. Okay. I think I'm going to Beseiju one of their Volks in the end step. They have more Volks they can get, but if my plan is to run them out of lands, I don't think they're going to have anything else I need to Beseiju. And they didn't pop me there when they could have. I think I'm going to try for my Living Wish right now. Once again, before they can hardcast Force of Negation, I would like to use this ability. I don't think I want to Field of the Dead directly into my Tabernacle. I could set up Lumra for 2 turns from now. I could Ramunap now. I'm currently in trouble to Wasteland. I didn't really think about that when I was playing when I binned this second Maze of Ith last turn. Okay, Maze of Ith and Bajuka Bog. Okay, I could definitely lose here. 8 for Murktide. And maybe you just can't have enough Maze of Iths versus a deck like this one. I lose to Stifle here. Okay. I just didn't have it. Okay, end step. I'm dead to Price of Progress anyway, so I'm just going to start hitting their lands. I'm going to take out this basic island. Floated mana. How many basics are you playing over there? At least 3. Good to know. Draw for turn. Mana Bond is a banger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have exactly 6 mana here to play Lumra with. Hope they don't have Daze. That would be embarrassing. But I'm still sending this. It's so busted. Okay, it resolved. I mill 4, then put all my lands into play. I have to choose a Beseiju to keep. The lands come in tapped. I have a 15/15. And Maze of Ith holding the fort. No Price of Progress, no Wasteland is what I need here. 16, excuse me, Lumra. I miscounted. I'm at 2. Double Bolt does it as well. Okay, a little too much damage from the early creatures. That's fine. I don't think Dismember would have solved that problem, though. So, same deck going right back in. Knowing they have Snapcaster Mage and 3 basic islands, this might be the slightly bigger Delver deck that's playing stock up. You all won't see this for a couple weeks, but at the time of recording, Aether Drift is basically brand new. It's been out less than a week, and the card stock up is... People are trying it as a card advantage engine to break traditional tempo shells. 3's a lot more than 2 mana, but that card is good if you get to that part of the game. Oh, let's go. Yeah, this is the hand. I'm gonna test the interaction with Exploration, and if that doesn't work, I will enjoy myself a Mana Bond. Forces are the only interaction that could work here. Force of Negation pitching Brazen Borrower, cool. Island, I can't waste that. I can Ghost Quarter it, but I'm not gonna. I'm going to play Ghost Quarter and cast Mana Bond. They could Spell Pierce here, but Daze is off, and if they spend another 2 cards forcing this, that's fine. Emergency Brainstorm, and that resolved. I am not going to use its ability. You can decline, because I want to mulch before I do that. I just want to get the max. I am a greed monster. Born of greed, full of greed. Scalding Tarn. Well, they didn't have Spell Pierce last turn, so I'm gonna Field of Ruin, cast Mulch, and hopefully put 4 cards in my hand. Just 2, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a gajillion zombies in the end step again. I do have to pay for them with Tabernacle, but I could waste my own Tabernacle. No, that's fine. I got it under control. Here comes my hand. And I can easily waste and Ghost Quarter myself out from under a Price of Progress. Zombos. Oh, these are the sweet zombie tokens. The original Odyssey player reward zombie tokens. Shout out Magic Online for using those. They're fetching in their upkeep. Basic Mountain. This doesn't look familiar. Is this the same Basic Mountain they had last game? I don't know. Maybe I'm making stuff up, but that doesn't look like the same one. Earthquake for X equals 2. That rules. Okay, opponent. I see you. Shout out. I'm still going to get a zombie here from my fetch land and then destroy all their lands. But that was fun. A Hedge Maze, trigger, Life from the Loam, Ghost Quarter. Do I want Ghost Quarter? We've seen 3 basics. We've not seen 4. No, I'll bin that. Any spell is better, and most lands are the same. Okay, pay. Yeah, Forest, mostly the same. Attack for 2. Wasteland you. Maybe I'm supposed to Field of Ruin there, actually, to flush out the basics and make Ghost Quarter better. I'll Field of Ruin the next one. Ponder. Earthquake. That's fascinating. What is that for in the metagame? I'm excited about it. I'm just confused. Okay, Field of the Dead's gone. Now my zombies got to do the work. But I do have them. Maze of Ith. I don't need to play that out now because they don't have any creatures and they do have Price of Progress probably, and I don't have Field of the Dead anymore. I could probably take them off red here by Ghost Quartering the Mountain, but that turns on double blue, which could be Murktide Regent, which I'm not actually beating right now. So I'm just going to chill on my Ghost Quarter. Okay. If we're bolting zombies, that's just card advantage. Ponder. Yeah, if I had Field of Ruined on that turn instead of Wasteland, I would have 1 more zombie right now. And I would still have Wasteland up, which is a more efficient way to play around Price of Progress. They would also have 3 mana instead of 2, though, which might matter a lot. Uh-oh. I'm going to attack first. They've already used 1 Force of Negation. And this is the Cat's Pajamas, if it works. I'm not going to target Wasteland with this because I don't need it, but I do have a Ghost Quarter in there. The Misty Rainforest is many zombies. Ah, boo! Alright. Opponent is a boring cop. That was still a Hymn to Turok. Wasteland. Taking out Tabernacle. Okay. If they stick a Harbinger of the Seas right now, that could actually be pretty effective. If it's Murktide, they just use that Wasteland a little too aggressively, and now this Maze of Ith I've been hiding is going to do the job. Another Yavimaya, Maze of Ith from hand. Always had it. This time I actually did. I could still lose this game to the next Wasteland, though. All my engines have been cut off. I'm not applying that much pressure. I'm not applying any pressure at this point. A Living Wish wins the game on the spot, I think. Just shove Lumra and it's over. They are testing me. I remember it's there. Don't worry. And I know I can Field of Ruin this Valk, but I could also do that after I draw a useful card. I'm going to stop in their draw step, because if they draw a basic land, that's great for me. They draw a step. I'll go after this volcanic island now. Floated blue. I have some snow-covered forests, which are different names for Field of the Dead than the forests I already have in play. 3 basics revealed. Delver. It's currently under control. Alright. Opponent loves making me tap my land. You are entitled to do that, it's fine. Ghost Quarter. Okay. Let's see how many basics you're actually playing. I'm going to attack this mountain. Floating a red. You have no spells. There's no cards. Okay, they are running out of lands over there. Ghost Quarter, Ghost Quarter. Okay, they are looking for Price of Progress, which doesn't kill me, or a Wasteland to start pushing 3 damage a turn. And I'm looking for Life from the Loam, Mulch, Living Wish, Field of the Dead. Okay, third Delver. Damage could actually be done soon. All right, deck, time to deliver a good one. Tabernacle stabilizes. Ah! I'm so good at just saying the name of cards, and there they are. Okay, now one of the Delvers is dead, and they're back to needing a Wasteland to start pushing 3 damage a turn. And they do have a fetch land, so they can look at a card off the first Delver, and then if they don't like it, get rid of it. That is happening. Volcanic Island, now Wasteland is live. Delver flipped, revealing Force of Will. We're going to see this Delver die, the one that didn't flip. Okay, 11 power in play, Force of Will in hand. I know that anything I draw this turn is going to work. The next turn may or may not. Opponent taking full advantage of the MTGO lag here. The fact that they have creatures means I can't F6 every turn as well. Tough beat. Is this even doing anything? I am not going to pay the 1. Second Mana Bond. Just in case that matters at some point. Okay, they are back to being ahead here. They have 2 draws in their deck that matter, though. They can't Price of Progress me anymore because they need to spend mana on their creatures every turn. They got 2 Wastelands left. Crop rotation. Alright, well, I'm going to rotate away this Yavimaya. If they have Force of Will, it's going to cost them the cards in their hand, and I've lost almost nothing here. Force pitching Daze. Alright, here's my Yavimaya back. They're back to Hellbent, paying for their creatures. Wasteland's the only draw in their deck that matters. Wooded Foothills. I can... Oh, I'm going to put that in, actually. I was going to sandbag it in case of drawing a Field of the Dead, but having it is a Surveil land, which, you know, at this rate, doubles my action on a turn. Fetch for Underground Mortuary. Mulch. There we go. Something to do. I'll take it. Mulch. Field of the Dead, Wasteland. Play Field of the Dead. Go to my end step, put in Wasteland, kill the Volcanic Island. Then they lose one of their creatures. And they've had enough. I've been on the other side of this enough, just trying to make a Murktide Region or a Delver of Secrets get through against multiple Maze of Its. It sucks. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw for round 2. I have a turn 1 Mana Bond that is actually not that good here because my hand is a bunch of spells I want to cast. But it will check a Force of Will in a spot where that's not really the most important thing going on. Scrubland. Well, I'm not going to have a Mana Bond in a moment. Though they might prioritize the Living Wish if they recognize that Mana Bond's not that good here. The Mana Bond is gone. Life from the Loam. I like this card. Scrubland's interesting, though. This could be a black Reanimator deck that has white cards in the sideboard. There is sort of a Modern Horizons 3 theme deck. That's basically the Mardu Energy deck ported into Legacy that has been kicking around. All right, Stoneforge Mystic plays. Cauldron complete. I'm going to be weak to Wasteland at some point. I'm just going to get my Underground Mortuary here. I don't need a Wooded Foothills. Mana Bond, that's back. Okay, what's in my wish board? Nothing that kills Cauldron. I should just start wishing for lands, though, so Mana Bond can actually pop off next turn. Wish for, I think, Field of the Dead now, correct, or Tabernacle next turn. Because I can Wish plus Mana Bond next turn, discard Life from the Loam, throw a bunch of stuff into play. Here comes Kaldra, which is... It is a clock, but Maze of Ith checks it. A Wall of Zombies check it. It does not die to Tabernacle, because Tabernacle says destroy, and this is indestructible. Just stupid old templating. Tabernacle definitely says sacrifice in the modern day. But that is one of those fringe interactions you learn if you play enough Legacy. It usually comes up with Merit Lage. Here comes the token. I go to 14. Caracas, I do not care about. Blast Zone is Deece. I'm going to play a Boseiju. And I'll use that to cast the other Living Wish. Sucks to just use two of these like this, but it's use it or lose it, and I'd rather use it. Is Tabernacle better than Caracas? Almost certainly. Tabernacle, Mana Bond. Oh, I actually don't get any zombies here. I'm a land short because Boseiju is legendary. Okay, so there won't be any zombies this turn. Next turn I can loam and have millions. I'll keep the untapped Boseiju. Not that it matters here. What I'm worried about here is if they have main deck graveyard hate, if they have the dingus, the land that's a goblin, that's a Bojuka Bog. Okay, they paid for the Cauldron Germ. You don't have to do that, but you can, and if you don't know, you don't have to. That's mana spent. They don't want the Stoneforge anymore. Wasteland is irrelevant. The best thing they can do with that Wasteland is park it in play and wait for me to find a Maze of Ith. The second 5-point hit. They could also wait for my Mana Bond to trigger and hit my Field of the Dead before I get any zombies. Oh, this was not the right time. Doing that in the end step was the right time. Unless they have Graveyard Hate. If they take it right now, then it was great. But with face-up information, not ideal. A Field of the Dead, 2 fetch lands. Okay, that happened. And I'm just going to go to my Mana Bond trigger. Because I get more zombies if these all come in together. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. I get more zombies if these all come in together. Yes, put them in. And then I can fetch a forest and a snow forest for 2 more zombies. Ooh, something's happening. Samwise the Stout-Hearted. That will regrow their wasteland. And something will become the Ring Bearer. And they have Caracas to loop Sam with. That's pretty strong. Okay, they'll probably use Caracas to pick up Sam. And keeping Sam in play when I have all these zombies doesn't seem relevant. There we go. That one's gone. Yeah, the second and fourth ring levels matter this game. Like, if they start looting, that's really good. If Kaldra can trample over for 1 and deal an extra 3, that's really good. This 1 extra mana matters a lot this turn. If they figure out they don't have to pay for the Kaldra. I'm in a Sam Wasteland loop. That's kind of frustrating, as the ring keeps tempting them. But if they do pay, they'll be a mana short of doing that. Okay. As always, I say these things in the interest of education. I'm not shitting on my opponent. I am going to block this with all of the Zombos. I want to take 0 damage until I get this thing answered permanently. All my zombies die here. Well, 2 die, 1 gets exiled, technically. And end step, I'm going to fetch. If they want to prevent a zombie, they could waste field now. Basic forest. And fetch snow-covered forest. And I think I want to charge Blast Zone up to 2. That could kill Sam while Caracas isn't available, or even in response to Caracas. I pay for my zombies, Dredge Loam. Wasteland, more fetches are what's available in there. Wasteland, fetch, and Boseiju. Do I want to start Boseijuing? I don't think so. Hedge Maze. Right now is a great time to waste my Field of the Dead. There we go. Figured out the timing. We're in trouble now, team. Wasteland, take out Caracas. And then end step, I'll put these lands back in. My life total is getting thin. Maze of Ith right on top. I guess I could have milled that. I'm going to mill it with Loam anyway. And then that's just +1 card. And now I can't fetch. I wasn't going to fetch anyway, but now I can't. Okay, I should have put that in the graveyard. Another Caracas, oh no. I'll continue to absorb as much damage as I can. Zombies are gone. I'm at 6. Dredge Loam. There's a Maze of Ith in there. Maze of Ith, Wasteland, Field of the Dead is the squad. And I get the most if I wait till my end step. Or I guess here it's the same. Because I have critical massive lands. Put them in. Zombos. And they've had enough. I'm going to be nice and tell them they don't have to pay for a Caracas. Or for who is that? Caldra. And once again, I think I just don't have a sideboard here. They're not going to have... sometimes these Death and Taxes decks have one Magus of the Moon. That's usually a Yorion thing. I'd rather wish for Rex Age than have it in my deck, even though I think that might be useful. Yeah, here we go. The old no sideboard special. Okay, I like my hand a lot, except it is soft to my opponent wasting me, because I only have one green source. But I'm not gonna ship a hand this crazy based on that. Turn 1 Backstreet. I'd love to just draw a forest here. Wasteland. Well, I can afford to be a dick here. If opponent leads on a tap land, I'm going after it. I am the control deck in this matchup. Mesa. And we drew an untapped forest. As long as I don't get mana tithed, we're in good shape. Mortuary. Get that sweet, sweet selection. I do not need this Misty Rainforest. I'm going to be loaming and mulching next turn. Wasteland. Too late for that, but I'm glad I was able to play around it for as long as I did. I'm going to start by mulching. Let's maximize my options. 4 cards. That's a lot. 2 mana draw 4. I like it a lot. There is another Surveil land in my deck and this Field of the Dead. Let's just get it started. I'm not going to cast Loam here. My hand is already full. And them wasting me is almost the same as me wasting them. Obviously, they're in control of what land dies instead of me, but at the same time, they're down a land in a spot where I have so many. Okay, Samwise, aggro Samwise. This picks up the Arid Mesa. Thunder Plains, great choice. Wait, this is not Thunder Plains. This is the daytime one. Still a great choice. Ooh. Nile Spellbomb, also a great choice. It'll slow me down a little bit. I do have double Loam, though. And when you have a Nile Spellbomb versus Loam, like a one-shot effect, you have to decide if you want to stop the first Loam, which is good for 2 or 3 cards, or take the Loam out of the graveyard after they've already 3-for-1'd you. And it's pretty backbreaking either way. Hedge Maze. Crop Rotation. I'll keep that. There's not many spells in the deck. I would have kept any one of them. Okay. Is this even good to Loam? I think it is. Just start pressuring this Nile Spellbomb. See if they want to use it now. Maybe flush it out on the Loam after I get the lands in my hand. They killed a Field of the Dead. I've got another one. But they can wipe it out here. Okay. It went back to my hand. And I've got the replacement Field of the Dead and Wasteland ready to go here. I would entertain reasonable arguments that Tabernacle should be in play here instead of Field of the Dead. Yeah, I think that's actually right. I'm going to discard this Yavimaya. I don't think I need that card here. I need another Wasteland here to not get buried by zombies next turn. Caracas is a little late to pick up the Wasteland from last turn. And I am going to take 2 damage to get my zombies online. I can Wasteland the Caracas anytime. And I am not going to Dredge Loam. I am already handful of gas. This represents 3 zombies here. Could be a lot more with the crop rotation. I guess I'll play the other Loam now, actually. This is probably just very sloppy lands play, and there's minor technicalities I'm missing. The machine is rolling so hard right now, though, that I don't think I'm going to get punished for it. Okay, it's Spellbomb time. If they fetch for the black to cantrip, Wasteland's on. That's a Loam and a Field of the Dead gone. And I'm going to fetch now so I can Wasteland and still have enough lands in play for zombies. Got to get a Snow Forest off this one. And then go to their turn and Wasteland. Okay, well, I guess I'll Wasteland some other time then, if they could just pick it up with Sam right now. Fetched a basic. So they can Sam pick up the Arid Mesa or the Nile Spellbomb. The Spellbomb's even better. Interesting. I do have a Bajuka Bog in my deck. Okay. I am gonna let Sam resolve. let it target something, then rotate for Bojuka Bog. Crop rotate away this Hedge Maze, that doesn't matter anymore. Bojuka Bog, get a zombie, and after I get a zombie, before Bojuka Bog resolves, I'm going to waste the Caracas. We got the GGs. Broke up the engine. I can't imagine this matchup is anything but insanely positive, probably even better than the Delver matchup, where I've had a good run so far at this league. Let's keep that going. No oops all spells, no oops all spells.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 3 with an exploration start. I'm going to keep. This Living Wish needs to do some work, though, because I don't have any other engines going. Mortuary, another exploration. The second one is really good eventually. I don't know if that time is now, but I am going to keep it. That's just so good, especially if I'm against like a prismatic ending deck or something. Well, I've been Thoughtseized, and now I don't have Living Wish. This could be a combo deck of some kind. 1, 2, 3. Well, here's all my cards. And I'll be fetching my other Surveil land if I am still alive. Okay, Esper. That's good news. I am excited to see Esper and not another swamp or a Badlands. Edge Maze, find me some goods. Caracas. That's annoying. All right. I'll put that on top. It's not worth a zombie. Not yet, but it does check this Tameo. And it's very likely my opponent does play more basics than this. But I think I would like to take this out now while I can. And get a Snow Forest. Okay, F6 value from here. We know they're holding Tameo. Bowmaster, okay. I did enable that by giving them an extra mana in the end step. They're pushing damage now, but only until I draw a land that isn't one of the ones I already have. Teferi, okay. Plus on that. Mulch, please pay me. Don't have Force of Will. Bojuka Bog and 2 Loams. I was about to be bereft that I missed and only got 1 land, but 2 Loams is pretty set. Okay. They can bounce the zombie, and then we're back to loaming. I've been on the other side of this enough times to know how hopeless this feels. They've drawn 2 cards already this turn. If I bounce Tameo in the end step, they can't use her as a planeswalker. I could also just... Alright, yeah, I am going to bounce Tameo, even though they can brainstorm and flip her. Doesn't matter. It's not that important. Dredge Loam. Target the 3 lands in my graveyard. All 3 of them. And it worked. Well, let's put them into play. Field of Ruin. Wooded Foothills. That can be another zombie. And do I want Boseiju in my hand, or do I want more zombies? I'm going to Field of Ruin this Tundra, which will get me another zombie. They do have a basic plains. Good to know. And yeah, I'd rather have more zombies than a Boseiju in my hand. I've decided. All right, here we go. The crushing inevitability of this card that is banned in Modern. Opponent had enough. Cool. And I think, once again, say the line, Bart, no sideboard, in we go. This is a deck that has enough basics that I would certainly believe they have Harbinger of the Seas. I'm just going to try to control them other ways. I'll keep his hand even though it doesn't have the turn 1 exploration. Tameo. Edge Maze. Field of the Dead. I like Field of the Dead. I'll leave it on top. I get punished by Wasteland here, but that's okay. I'll live with my decisions. I wonder if I'm just supposed to Wasteland my opponent here. It gives them a turn to generate a clue with no pressure, but a clue doesn't matter unless they have mana to eat it. Blooded Strand. Okay, I'm going to lead on Exploration. Fetching in response. They're not going for basics here. They're cracking a clue. Wasteland, take out the white, because that is the color that can beat a resolve permanent. Blue and black, not known for doing that. You've got a wasteland. You want to take me off green, or you want to eat clues with that? Okay, we got through. I will cast this mulch. Didn't have a force last turn. Field of Ruin, Wasteland. Okay, there's those. Field of Ruin, Wasteland into play. And I will pass to my opponent. If they eat their clue, I will waste their Underground Sea. And if they don't, I'll do it in their upkeep. Surgicaling Life from Loam. Okay. That is a little frustrating, but it's not the engine I have online right now. I have literally every other engine I play available to me. Bowmaster. I could waste their Wasteland if I think that's what I'm more worried about. I actually do. I'm going to waste their Wasteland. Because I am kind of flying by the seat of my pants on this one green source I have. And I'm not that worried about a flip Tamiyo in the short term. Thoughtseize. Taking my mulch is pretty powerful here, actually. Mulch versus Living Wish. Living Wish gets Tabernacle. Mulch is a random flip that could draw as many as 4 cards. It went for the Wish, alright. And I am straight up mulching it. Bajuka Bog and 3 spells to the graveyard. Hate that. Okay, Mazavith are my plays here. If I draw another different land, I get to start making zombies. I held off on Bajuka Bogging them because if Tamiyo flips, that gives me a 1-turn window to clear their graveyard before she can regrow any of their sick spells. I'm currently taking 0 damage. They are amassing clues like crazy. I'll Spellbomb. Okay, you already took my Loams. Do your worst. Oh. Well, that one is frustrating for my opponent. Thoughtseize Bug. Okay, Living Wish. I would like to use the ability. And I think I'm just going to grab a Tabernacle. There's that. And then Bajuka Bog my opponent. My next land makes Zombo. 2 of these are going to die right now. Oh, they all died. Okay. Then they drew a land. Swords to Plowshare is still in the deck. Gotta respect Merit Lage. They don't know I don't play it. Mana Bond, might as well put it into play. And I'm just gonna pass here. The Mazavith doesn't trigger the field. It's just my 3rd redundant name. And the next different land I draw gets me Mazavith plus that zombie, plus I can Field of Ruin their Underground Sea for another one. I can unlock green basically any time with Field of Ruin. I'm not worried about them wasting my Hedge Maze. Though if they cast a Harbinger of the Seas this turn, I'm basically iced to it. I can get a basic, but then what? My deck doesn't do anything. Another Tamiyo. Misty Rainforest. That's a lot of zombos. Trigger. And they've had enough just to make 1 zombie and concede. Love it. On to the next one. Keep giving me these fair decks.
The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/TheResleevables.
I'm on the draw in round 4. I have Exploration and some lands to play. I'm in a Bayou, Lotus Petal. Alright, a combo deck. My arch nemesis. We might sideboard in this matchup. Pitch Spirit Guide, played Lion's Eye Diamond. Echo of Eons. Okay, we're taking a spin. A blind spin around the Eternities. And my hand is still good if I get a turn. Dark Ritual. Every time I'm playing a blue deck, my Storm opponents are super clever and navigate around exactly what I have, and they're able to present all the right questions and answers. And then when I'm mono green lands, they're just like, yeah, raw, unprotected, turn 1 Echo of Eons. Fuck it, YOLO. We've had a good league, though. Hard to complain. Entomb. Okay, so we're taking another spin around the Eternities. Echo of Eons number 2. Oh, Beseech the Mirror. It's even worse. We're actually just dead. This is Lethal Tendrils, if that's what they get here. Cool. Well, at least they don't know what we're playing. I want Damping Sphere, Collector Oof, and all these ley lines, for sure. I don't think Macabre is good. And Wish for Collector Oof is just really slow. Though I guess having access to a hate piece that you can wish for is important, because that's not really a thing I'm doing. I think at least 2 of the Tabernacles can come out. And actually, I think all of the Maze of Myths come out. And then leave 1 Tabernacle in, or 2 Tabernacles in case they go Empty the Warrens or some creature line. They could have Bowmasters too. But Maze of Myth, definitely not what I want here. Okay. The mission is clear. Does this beat them? No. This does Living Wish. This is a turn 3 Collector Roof. I don't believe that's going to be good enough. Got a mulligan. Okay, I have the Damping Sphere. I think I'm going to keep this bottom alone and just hope that they are going slower this game. Keep bottom loam. There's no stage or depths in this deck. Previous builds of 8 Balch have been able to present Merit Lage on turn 1. But we're only playing 4 Mulches. This deck's a little different than that. Living Wish is the backup plan instead of the second set of Mulches, the Winding Ways. Okay, Forest, Mana Bond, decline the trigger, pass is the game plan here. And hope I get a turn. And if I do get a turn, hope they haven't Thoughtseize me since this one. Hopefully they read this keep as Mindbreak Trap. If I have Mana Bond and don't deploy it, but that would still incentivize them to Thoughtseize. Turns out, just sending it, or I guess the best thing I could hope for is if they develop out some mana this turn, then pass to play around Mindbreak Trap. Pitch Nature's Claim. Fascinating. Did they have the read 'em on a non-blue deck? Or do we just assume that Null Rod, Damping Sphere, everything is enough to bring in a Nature's Claim? Okay, pass to play around Mindbreak Trap. Don't Thoughtseize me. Certainly don't combo off. Give me one window here. Dark Ritual. Shit, they're not going to pump the brakes. And this build doesn't have Mox Diamond, something very different than other land strategies, which means you can't turn 1 a Damping Sphere. Oh, Belcher. Well, I might just die here. And Damping Sphere is not going to help me beat this. I have to, A, survive this turn, B, draw exactly Boseiju. We did see a Bayou in their deck. This is a sideboard juke. So it's possible to survive a Charbelcher, perhaps. I am getting a turn. Boseiju off the top. Oh my god! Someday someone will stop me, but it won't be you, and it won't be today. Boseiju this thing. I might still die to whatever their other combo is, if they have the other combo in hand. Yeah, there's the Bayou. That might be the only land in their deck. I have not given up on the Damping Sphere. Give me one more turn of life, and then we can move on and do something else. Game 3 where I just die because I'm on the draw. It's actually incredible how much better Exploration would have been this game than Mana Bond. Even just thinking about, like, ever picking up this Boseiju again means I can't Mana Bond it. Do a Mulch. That is a nice reload. That means I'm still not about to Mana Bond. I'm going to Wasteland first, because if they have, like, an Abrupt Decay or something, maybe I could trick them into using it on the Mana Bond instead of the Damping Sphere. We already see a Nature's Claim was boarded in. Okay, somehow, turn 3 Damping Spheres now, entering the stack. Hopefully they don't just pick it off and then untap and easily take over the game. But they didn't go off last turn. That might mean they shot their shot turn 1 and need to rebuild, which means Damping Sphere is great. It might mean they have a bunch of reactive stuff, which means Damping Sphere sucks. Okay, they didn't pick it off in the end step. I can finally F6. Okay, just no plays from the opponent here. Exploration, that is a card I mentioned is pretty good. Mulch, fill me up. That is a fill up. Okay, I no longer require the services of Exploration if I'm Mana Bonding now. Yeah, put them in. And then I'll start dredging loam. I'll start Besajuing their Moxen, and maybe we could get control of this thing. I still have to win somehow. Chrome Mox. That's one spell. Dumping Thoughtseize, pretty safe bet. That's not going to help you here. Dredge loam. Get back the 3 lands. Besaju, target the black Mox or green Mox. Probably the green one, or the black one, is more important to them. And they do not have an additional land. Okay, this is a land temporarily. I will waste it, for sure. End step Wasteland, let's just take that out. What would I wait for? Dredge, there's Field of the Dead, now I can win. Loam, Besaju, destroy the Chrome Mox, which takes the Mox Opal with it, at least temporarily. Ooh, they have the Nature's Claim all of a sudden. Spooky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, this isn't on. It's not on! Bad news, everybody. I'm going to decline the Mana Bond, because this Wasteland doesn't matter right now, and it's worth an extra zombie next turn. And I'm just an LED Echo away from being right back at functionally turn 1. We played 6 turns for no reason. Okay, they're passing the turn. Loam milled over a Misty Rainforest. That's good for many zombies. I'll probably waste my own Tabernacle this turn cycle just so I don't have to pay for the zombies. Even though I do have plenty of mana to do that. Loam back my 3 targets. Misty Rainforest makes a zombie. This Aju kills Lotus Petal. I'm going to do literally any weird, scrappy, ugly little thing to try to stop them from doing their thing. And then Mana Bond, end step, puts 2 lands in, saving that Wasteland last turn, generates a zombie now. And end step, I'm going to fetch one of my Surveil lands. I'll get Underground Mortuary. In case there's a Leyline of the Void on top of my deck, I will actually just keep it there and cast it. Loam into the graveyard. And I'm going to Ghost Quarter my own Tabernacle, which makes another zombie. And means I don't have to pay for the zombies anymore. Okay, they're on a 2-turn clock. Whether I make more zombies or not, I'm actually going to draw a card. And if it was like Living Wish or Leyline of the Void, or 4 spells of the graveyard. Big miss there, but that's okay. Dredging Loam, there was nothing that would improve my chances here, but there were spells that were worth drawing. Moment of Truth. They are dead on board. I can Ghost Quarter myself 2 more times to make 2 more zombies. The fact they haven't done anything in a few turns doesn't mean they didn't have anything. It just means they could count where the pressure would come from. Okay, here we go. There's Lion's Eye Diamond. Do we have the Echo? Do we have the Entomb? 2 Echoes in hand. Well, we're taking a spin. The only instant in my deck is Crop Rotation, and that only matters if they have an Echo in the graveyard and pass priority. All right, here we go. As expected, I have nothing that matters in my hand. There are random 7s that don't convert. That's what I'm hoping for here. Petal, Ritual, Cabal Ritual, 4 mana, 5, 6 mana showing. Pitch to Spirit Guide. Beseech the Mirror. Should do it for them here. They can Beseech for Tendrils. Oh, I'm at 23. I gained some life somewhere. Oh, I got Nature's Claimed. Okay. Beseech for Gaia's Will is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Storm. Yeah, that'll do it. I'm holding the Bajuka Bog, not the Crop Rotation to get Bajuka Bog, which is what I would need to break that line. They could also Beseech for Entomb and dump an Echo and just take another spin. That doesn't seem very good, though, compared to the other lines that are available, assuming they have a Gaia's Will in the deck. Charbelcher, they could just get and activate. The Bayou is in there. It's like 50-50. Slightly worse than 50-50. 48 card deck. I'm at 23. Okay, Charbelcher. The Bayou's in the deck. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Okay, the Bayou was the 4th card from the bottom. Plenty there. Okay, yeah, we got 3 insane matchups in a row and then 1 insanely bad matchup. The ThrabenU experience, you're going to kick the crap out of some people and you're going to lose non-competitively to some others. We're doing it, Phil. This is you. On to the final round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in the final round versus another known MTGO combo player. Has a range of combo decks they might play, but this is a combo person. And my hand does not do anything. I'm going to mulligan. Okay, this hand is better. I still expect it will not be good enough for whatever matchup we're in. But I do have the crop rotation, which could get Karakas or Bojuka Bog if they're that sort of combo. Misty Rainforest. Forest. Ignoble Hierarch. I can just put a Tabernacle in front of this thing. Yeah, I'll just play Tabernacle and start being annoying. This may or may not really do anything here, but it will at least cost them some mana. White of the Reliquary. Okay. That can search for lands and they enter tapped. Speaking of enters tapped, I will play this Field of the Dead. So that's my only route to 2 mana next turn. I don't think I'm going to need to crop rotate right now. This is a deck built around Gaia's Cradle. Okay, so they paid for white and then sacked Ignoble before it was time to pay for it. Good sequencing. I can crop rotate for a Wasteland to kill this Gaia's Cradle. The Scythecat Cub. What a sweet card that is. Okay, Forest, float colorless, crop rotation, and just get a Wasteland. Gotta take these things out before I'm too smoked by it. And I'm probably just gonna die to these creatures anyway. No acceleration here is tough. Yeah, the Cub is gonna pop off here. White of the Reliquary having Vigilance is so Modern Horizons. Knight of the Reliquary is already good, and you had to decide if you wanted to attack or use it in a turn. Here, nope, you just get both. I think on the play, I would be in a commanding position to take over this game, but on the draw, them having that mana dork really just bucked my whole experience. And we just keep drawing mulches. The full play set is here. And the Cub is like really good at applying pressure. This Dryad Arbor triggers the Cub, and then they'll White of the Reliquary it away. If they white it into a fetch land, it's a bunch more land drops. If they get Cradle, that cancels my Tabernacle. 10 damage on board. It wouldn't take much to make it 12. Or even way more. If they just have like a creature and a fetch land, they can easily have 3 lands this turn. Zenith for 0. Yeah. I'm just too slow for being on the draw in this particular matchup. A bunch of beats. And I'm just dead. Oh yeah, they had mid-combat tricks to do stuff. Cool. Well, that was a slaughter. I think it's finally time for Dismember. After all this time. Bojuka Bog matters a little bit. Mazavith matters. Tabernacle matters at least a little bit. Karakas doesn't matter. It's basically a colorless land. I think I might actually board out 1 Tabernacle. Because we saw how effective that card was. It's not like something you want to play early. You want to sculpt a board state for when it would matter. And that just never happened that game because they didn't miss any land drops and I didn't do anything to deny their mana. Crop rotation. No acceleration. No real mana denial. I do have a Mazavith. I'm going to mulligan this. Okay, this one is slightly better. I'm going to keep and put, I think, one of the Wastelands to the bottom. It might be the crop rotation. I already have the Tabernacle. I already have a Mazavith. I want to be Wastelanding them. Okay, I'm going to put a Wasteland to the bottom. Crop rotation can be anything, even a Wasteland. Hedge Maze finds another green source. I will keep that there. And Thoughtseize is pretty annoying here. I don't even know if they would have Thoughtseize in versus lands. Once upon a time, found a Windswept Heath. Basic Forest, Noble Hierarch. Okay. Exploration. Land. Tabernacle. Doing its thing. A little better this time. I'm on the play and I'm ramping. Dryad Arbor. I can Wasteland that. And that card's really shitty with Tabernacle in play. I'm going to fetch my Mortuary this turn. They're getting their attack for 1 in. Might as well. Mortuary. Don't need a forest. I'm looking for an engine now. One of my spells. It's not that. A Wasteland Mazavith. And I'll pass here. I'll make them pay for the Dryad Arbor first, then I'll waste it. Okay. Oh, casting Once Upon a Time off of that Dryad Arbor is interesting. Because now they can't pay for it. Deal. That's why I waited. The Basic Forest, that's 2 of those accounted for. I don't know how many they play. A spell? A spell? Should have been more specific. It is a spell, but it's not the one I wanted. The third Once Upon a Time of the game. Thrice Upon a Time. Verdant Catacombs. We're going to find out soon if there are any basics left in this deck. No, there are not. Ignoble Hierarch. Okay. Come on, spell. Ooh, Living Wish. What do I do with this? 1, 2, 3. I only have 3 actual mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can get a Field of the Dead and deploy it here. Okay. I will do that. I wish this could be Lumra, but it can't. Field of the Dead. I don't think wasting this Bayou is gonna matter that much. I would like to waste Cradle when it shows up. Even if they do like Natural Order for an Atraxa, that's something that Mazavith checks. It's dumping out the creatures like crazy. Alright. Fetch land. We're in Zombie Town. Crop rotation at this point. Blast Zone kills a few things, including my own things. Yeah, I'm just going to chill. They have more things to pay for than they have lands. The dorks can wash themselves out. They can do White of the Reliquary tricks to sack one of the dorks before it would die anyway. Right, looks like they are paying for their things. Zenith for 0. Adding a Dryad Arbor to this board. I could make another zombie here. Do I want to? Not really attacking, so I'm going to just not do that. Lair of the Hydra. That's a zombie and a Lair of the Hydra. 2 things that I enjoy. This game is really interesting. I don't even know who's ahead right now. Sack the Dryad Arbor. Got a Cradle. I will, of course, waste that before they can use it. They might have been sandbagging a Cradle in their hand this whole time. I can crop rotate for another Wasteland if I need it. In between the Reclaimers and the whites and the cards that have been in their hand the whole game. Certainly plenty of access to Cradles here. Tabernacle moment. Everything must be paid for. Talon Gates. Zooting out a zombie. That's fine. Sylvan Safekeeper. Do I care about that? I don't think so. All of this is just making Blast Zone better. Alright, I'm still gonna continue my plan of chillin'. I need a Light from the Loam, a Mulch, something that does something. Right, Misty Rainforest. More zombies. These are gonna be hard to pay for pretty soon. Sacking Noble Hierarch for a Cradle. I'm gonna rotate away the Hedge Maze. Because if I draw Loam, I'd rather have that in my graveyard than any of these other things. Get another Wasteland, which generates another zombie. Waste the Cradle. They're 1 mana short of reclaiming that into another Cradle. I don't have the next Cradle covered. I really do need a Light from the Loam or a Mulch or one of my engines real soon. Keep playing out 1-drops. And I'm just not going to pay for some amount of these zombies this turn. I could make more zombies now. Okay, I'm going to fetch in response. I'll get Bayou and one of my forests. I don't have to pay for these zombies till next turn. And I'm getting cards I don't want to draw out of the way. I think I have to let one of these die, because every card I want to draw costs 2. Hey! Okay. Attack with these zombies. One of them's going to get through. 2 of them will get eaten by bigger creatures. But they're not going to block with any of these X1s they have. I guess they could block and then White of the Reliquary them away. Alright, we found the banger, though. Presumably their deck has a Bojuka Bog in it, but I'm still going to cast this card targeting 2 Wastelands. So the Bog can blow out this round of Loaming. They would need a second Bog or an Echoing Deeps to stop me from dredging moving forward. Pay in their Troll Tolls. We still don't have good attacks. Zenith for 1. Still committing creatures. That's all they can do. Another Reclaimer. Okay, gotta pay for some Zombos here. I am just dredging Loam until they disrupt me from doing that anymore. Ghost Quarter. There's 3 Loams in my graveyard. If they do have a second Ghost Quarter, It's pretty messed up. Okay, I'm gonna take out this Bayou, or wait, nope, I'm not gonna give them a turn to untap with Cradle. I'm just gonna pass. Here in the upkeep, I'm gonna let them pay for their creatures and then decide where Ghost Quarter is gonna go, if anywhere. They should just pay with their lands before the lands go away. Cool. Okay, I will just go to my turn, I guess. If they're not doing anything, I'm not doing anything. Pay for 3 of the zombies. Dredge Loam. Bajuka Bog Mazavith. Ghost Quarter, target your Bayou. Is there a third basic? There is not. Life from the Loam, target my 3 targets. Finding Bajuka Bog here is actually busted, because that means they can't block anymore. Because all of these creatures are 2 or less toughness. If there's nothing in the graveyard, which there won't be. Bajuka Bog you. And Ghost Quarter. And Mana Bond trigger. Okay, end step white. We're going to see that 3rd Cradle. Something else for me to Ghost Quarter. Underground Mortuary. I'm going to wipe out that Mortuary now. And pass the turn. They can still only just pay for their creatures. They're out of mana dorks, and I now have them in an actual mana squeeze. They can target their White of the Reliquary pre-combat with Sylvan Safekeeper, which means it can attack through Mazavith. But I have so many blockers that I don't care about that. Okay, we're back to my upkeep. Pay for a bunch of the zombies. And then don't pay for some of the other ones. Dredge Loam. Field of Ruin, Ghost Quarter. Sick. And play Ghost Quarter. Attack with everything. Okay, they finally had enough. Cool, got the hooks in eventually. Alrighty, well, that's what we need to do. The game where I was on the play with exploration versus the game where I was on the draw without exploration, very telling. I don't think my sideboard really changes here, not a lot of... I guess Damping Sphere does turn off Cradle, and like maybe that's good enough just to include, but what would I cut? Yeah, my deck has 9 Wasteland effects in it. I'm not going to bring in Damping Sphere to turn off Gaia's Cradle. On the play, they might have Thoughtseizes in. Ooh, this hand is close. I am going to keep this. It needs green. The Dismember gives me a lot of juice here. Zenith for 0. I'm just going to Wasteland that. Another Tabernacle. You board one out and you still draw both of them. Reclaimer. And Mortuary. Another Mana Bond. I think I want to just kill this Reclaimer. This Ghost Quarter is my current route to green mana. Ghost Quartering one of my own lands to unlock Mana Bond. It's ugly, but it works. And I have 2 Tabernacles, I don't need both of those. Safekeeper. All right on time with the Dismember, I guess. Okay, head green. One way or another. So Yavimaya, I guess all their lands are mostly green anyway. Am I prepared to go all in here? And what else am I doing? Mana Bond. Do I need 2 Mana Bonds in play? I guess I might as well. I'm not Ghost Quartering 2 lands this turn. And this is going to be just the full squad, Tabernacle Legend rules. And I'll pass to their turn. Should I waste this non-basic before they have the option to pay with it? Maybe I was supposed to do that, but the deck that contains Gaia's Cradle, I just have to respect. I say that out loud, and then they tap their basic, so I'm going to attack this non-basic before they get to their main phase. Ghost Quarter is good against Cradle. I don't want to Ghost Quarter an Underground Mortuary. I'm fine Ghost Quartering that. I am on a 16-turn clock. They just Bajuka Bog cleared a couple of Wastelands out of the graveyard. Well, right on time as well. Okay. In this case, I'm going to Ghost Quarter Forest. Ghost Quarter a Forest. Yeah, ripping this loam was actually pretty sick. They're very soon going to be out of lands. Unless they have Surgical Extraction or Endurance, like something to break this up. Or they'll just pack it up to it. The hard lock. A 4-1 record, losing only to Belcher Storm. Not bad, all things considered. We had 3 phenomenal matchups, 1 horrendous matchup, and 1 matchup that could go either way with tight play and good decisions. This was entirely not my jam. This was ThrabenU's jam. I would not select this deck on purpose. It's so stressful, just like having to mulligan to have good cards. And then when you get into that mid-game situation where it's like, well, I mana bonded, now I need a Life from the Loam or a Mulch or a Living Wish. And all you can do is draw one card from the top of your deck and hope it's one of those cards. Stressful stuff. I don't care for it, but we had a very good record in this league and made absolute clowns out of several people just try to attack with creatures. That's not going to work against this deck. Edison, thank you for this invitation to cosplay as ThrabenU for a day. ThrabenU, thank you for this list. Everybody who's watching, now go over to ThrabenU on YouTube and watch him try to navigate a Esper control deck. This was a lot of fun. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon to support the channel, and I'll see you next time.